phonetically.
Hello. Yes, are we coming through? Yes, we are. Thank you and welcome, dear viewers, to the beginning of a most beautiful broadcast. I am your host, and I will be taking you through the stories of the people who live in this ever-changing, ever-twisting city. Tonight, for our premiere episode, I will be taking you through the story of an artist by the name of Clara. She was once most celebrated for her vibrant depictions of city life, though perhaps when she soon began her creation of this ever-changing and twisting world, perhaps she became more, though soon we will find out together, won't we, dear viewer? When Clara first arrived in the city, she was mesmerized. She had painted many cityscapes before, but nothing like this. It's the agriculture of this city and the structural texture of this city would shift and change hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, and that captured her. But the few friends and her family was concerned for her over this obsession of hers, but no, that did not stop her. The city spoke to Clara, so she began to paint one night in the depths of her studio. Soon what first started out as a mere project soon became an obsession, and soon she too twisted with the city as it began to change and contort and twist and crack and burn and build and breathe. And in her pursuit, night after night, day after day, soon she became nothing more. She became one with the city, though perhaps she became more, and she continued painting. Colors flew from her brush onto the canvas. Red, blue, yellow, green, orange, pink, purple. Colors that should not look together, but soon they did too. Layer after layer, they continued to twist, but it was not done yet. It was not perfect. But soon she ran out of paint, and her family and friends grew concerned over her long hours spent in her studio. But no, they didn't matter. Nothing mattered but her project. Nothing but the painting. Nothing but the city. But soon she ran out of paint. She couldn't leave. No, she was too deep in it now. She couldn't leave. So for if she left, she didn't believe she could stop. She could not begin. So then she began to use herself. Anger flew onto the canvas as easy as paint. Soon after that, doubt, sadness, sorrow, loneliness, fear, everything became a paint. Everything became one with the canvas. Everything became one with her project. And soon she was nothing but her obsession and nothing but her project, nothing but this masterpiece. But soon after she used everything inside her, there was still more to be painted, more to be used, but she had nothing left. And so on a twisted night, as twisted as the city that lay outside her studio, she began her descent into true by making her first sacrifice. She needed more, she muttered to herself. It's not enough. I used everything I have, but I need more. I need more. I'm almost done soon, and it will be beautiful, but I need more. The city speaks to me, and I'm almost done. I see it now in my mind, but I don't have the resources. I don't have the tools. I need more. And as she listened to her friends and family bustling about their lives beneath her studio in their little cozy home where they could not see what she saw. Perhaps, no, she couldn't. That'd be wrong. But who cares? Nothing matters. Nothing but the painting. Nothing but this masterpiece she will create. Soon, yes, she had to. No, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing but this project. Nothing but her work. And as her madness deepened, she began to draw on those close to her, her family, her emotions, her father's anger, her mother's sorrow, her siblings' joy, their despair, her friends' loneliness, all into the painting, all on her brush, all into her masterpiece. and all of them twisted and contorted on the canvas. But no, it wasn't done yet. She needed, perhaps, yes, she did have some spare materials lying around. First was her friend, was the first to leave. Clara had invited her into the studio, insisting she needed another pair of eyes for her masterpiece. She went easy onto the canvas. Unsuspecting as she was, she flew onto her brush onto the canvas with ease. Yes, she became one with it. Yes, she was perfect for it, for she twisted and turned with the rest of her masterpiece, along with the city, along with everything else. And as Clara made this sacrifice for her work, she herself began to change. She began to stretch and contort. Her hands became inky black, and where hands once stood, now stood claws that could hold her brush with ease. And she grew taller, and her clothes became one with her, and she began to bleed ink from her mouth, from her eyes. Paint of so different colors, paint and ink ran down her cheeks as if sorrowful tears of a woman long past. But no, that wasn't who she was anymore. She was an artist. She was this creation. She was the one who will create this masterpiece that will define the city for all of time. And her best friend was the first star. No, she needed more. She was good, but she wasn't enough. She needed more. She needed more. And as weeks turned into months, her once beautiful studio filled with masterpieces of different cityscapes, creatures, and landscapes became a studio of horrors after her friend and her little brother, easy to lure in with promises of treats and sights that no one had ever seen before. He too became easy paint on the brush onto the canvas. Yes, he worked well. Yes, but she needed more. It wasn't done yet. It needed to be perfect. It had to be perfect. So soon she gathered more. She broadcasted it all out to the separate locations and people around her studio. Come in, come one, come all, see her paintings, see her masterpieces. Yes, this would work. This had to work. She needed more. She needed more. Her mother and father were next. They came readily to see their daughter's creations. First went her mother onto the canvas, where sorrow and dread and loneliness became beautiful pieces of her ever-changing, ever-twisting, ever-contorting creation. Yes, it's almost done. It had to be done. There's almost nothing left. No, yes, it had to be. Who was she again? No, it didn't matter. Her name also flew onto the canvas. She was no longer Clara. Who was Clara? No, that too flew from her brush onto the canvas. She was now an artist. She was only an artist. She wasn't just a artist. She was the artist. Yes, one more sacrifice, one more paint, and it would be done. This ever-contorting, ever-changing mass on her canvas. It was almost done. It had to be done. There wasn't much left. No, there was always more left. Soon, many people next her father went. His anger and disappointment flew off him onto the brush, onto the canvas, adding another layer of ever-changing, ever-twisting, ever-shifting canvas. This creation of hers, this project, her masterpiece was almost done. It had to be done. It was almost done. But she was out. Who was left? Who was next? Soon she spread word far and wide to the neighbors, to the surrounding people. Come in, she said. Come in and see my creations, my masterpieces. One after the other, she lured them in, and soon they too became pieces and paints to feel her creation. It's almost done. It had to be almost done. And so ends this tale of a woman who reached for the stars, tried to create something, to capture something that ever twisted, ever changed, something that she tried to create to encapsulate chaos, that encapsulated this ever-changing, ever-twisting realm. But it's not enough, or perhaps it will be in time. Or she still paints for more paint. Always arrives in her studio, more resources for her brush to dance across her canvas. So perhaps her creation is near completion. incomplete, or perhaps it isn't at all. Thank you, dear listeners, for joining me on this epic tale, and please do come back for our next broadcast, where we will be diving once more into the ever-changing and shifting city. Though with our story ending, do remember, dear viewers, how the price of ambition can lead one into many dark places.